Legendary Passages, Episode 85, 11th Argonauts, Hypsipyle's Letter, from Ovid's Heroides. Previously, the Argonauts began their adventures on Lemnos, eventually capturing the Golden Fleece. Jason married Medea, and they all returned home. In this passage, the Queen of Lemnos, Hypsipyle, curses Jason for not returning to her and their children together. Hypsipyle's Letter, a legendary passage from Publius, Ovidius, Naso, Heroides, Epistles 6, translated by GRANT SHOWERMAN. Hypsipyle to Jason.
You are said to have touched the shores of Thessaly with safe returning keel, rich in the fleece of the golden ram. I speak you well for your safety, so far as you give me chance. Yet of this very thing I should have been informed by message of your own. For the winds might have failed you, even though you longed to see me, and kept you from returning by way of the realms I pledged to you. But a letter may be written, however adverse the wind. Hypsipyle deserved the sending of a greeting. Why was it rumor brought me tidings of you, rather than lines from your hand? Tidings that the sacred bulls of Mars had received the curving yoke, that at the scattering of the seed there sprang forth the harvest of men, who for their doom had no need of your right arm, and that the spoil of the ram, the deep gold fleece the unsleeping dragon guarded, had nevertheless been stolen away by your bold hand. Could I say to those who are slow to credit these reports, "He has written me with his own hand," how proud I should be! But why complain that my lord has been slow in this duty? I shall think myself treated with all indulgence, so I remain yours. A barbarian prisoner, so the story goes, has come to you, admitted to share the marriage couch you promised me. Love is quick to believe. May it prove that I am hasty, and have brought a groundless charge against my lord. Only now from Haemonian borders came a Thessalian stranger to my gates. Scarce had he well touched the threshold when I cried, "How doth my lord, the son of Aeson?" Speechless he stood in embarrassment, his eyes fixed upon the ground. I straight leapt up and rent my garment from my breast. "Lives he?" I cried, "or must fate call me too?" "He lives," was his reply. Full of tears is love, I made him say it on his oath. Scarce with a god to witness could I believe you living. When calm of mind returned, I began to ask of your fortunes. He tells me of the brazen-footed oxen of Mars, how they ploughed, of the serpent's teeth scattered upon the ground in way of seed, of men sprung suddenly forth and bearing arms, earth-born peoples slain in combat with their fellows, filling out the fates of their lives in the space of a day. He tells of the dragon overcome. Again I ask if Jason lives. Hope and fear bring trust and mistrust by turns. While he tells the details of his story, such as are the eagerness and quickness of his speech, that of his own nature he reveals the wounds that have been dealt me. Alas! Where is the faith that was promised me? Where the bounds of wedlock and the marriage torch, more fit to set ablaze my funeral pile? I was not made acquaint with you in stealthy wise. Juno was there to join us when we were wed, and Hymen his temples bound with wreaths. Yet neither Juno nor Hymen, but gloomy Enrys stained with blood, carried before me the unhallowed torch. What had I with the Minyae, or Dodana's pine? What had you with my native land, O helmsman Typhus? There was here no ram, sightly with golden fleece, nor was Lemnos the royal home of Aeetes. I was resolved at first, but my ill fate drew me on, to drive out with my woman's band the stranger troop. The women of Lemnos knew, even too well, how to vanquish men. I should have let a soldiery so brave defend my cause. But I looked on the man in my city. I welcomed him under my roof and into my heart. Here twice the summer fled for you, here twice the winter. It was the third harvest when you were compelled to set sail, and with your tears poured forth such words as these.
I am sundered from thee, Hypsipyle, but so the fates grant me return. Thine own I leave thee now, and thine own I will ever be. What lieth heavy in thy bosom for me, may it come to live, and may we both share in its parentage.
Thus did you speak, and with tears streaming down your false face I remember you could say no more. You are the last of your band to board the sacred Argo. It flies upon its way, the wind bellies out the sail, the dark blue wave glides from under the keel as it drives along. Your gaze is on the land, and mine is on the sea. There is a tower that looks from every side upon the waters round about. Thither I betake myself, my face and bosom wet with tears. Through my tears I gaze, my eyes are gracious to my eager heart, and see farther than their wont. And there too pure-hearted prayers, and vows mingled with fears, vows which I must now fulfill, since you are safe. Am I to absolve these vows, vows but for Medea to enjoy? My heart is sick, and surges with mingled wrath and love. Am I to bear gifts to the shrines because Jason lives, though mine no more? Is a victim to fall beneath the stroke for the loss that has come to me? No, I never felt secure, but my fear was ever that your sire would look to an Argolic city for a bride to his son. 'Twas the daughters of Argolis I feared, yet my ruin has been a barbarian jade. The wound I feel is not from the foe whence I thought to see it come. It is neither by her beauty nor by her merits that she wins you, but by the incantations she knows, and the baneful herbs she cuts with enchanted knife. She is one to strive to draw down from its course the unwilling moon, and to hide in darkness the horses of the sun. She curbs the waters and stays the down-winding streams. She moves from their places the woods and the living rocks. Among sepulchres she stalks, ungirded with hair flowing loose, and gathers from the yet warm funeral pyre the appointed bones. She vows to their doom the absent, fashions the waxen image, and into its wretched heart drives the slender needle, and other deeds 'twere better not to know. Ill sought by herbs is love that should be won by virtue and by beauty. A woman like this can you embrace? Can you be left in the same chamber with her and not feel fear, and enjoy the slumber of the silent night? Surely she must have forced you to bear the yoke, just as she forced the bulls, and has you subdued by the same means she uses with fierce dragons, and that she has her name writ on the record of your own and your heroes' exploits, and the wife obscures the glory of the husband. And someone of the partisans of Publius imputes your deeds to her poisons, and wins the people to believe. This fleece of gold from the ram of Phrixus, the son of Aeson, did not seize away, but the Phasian girl, Aeetes' child. Your mother Alcimede, ask counsel of your mother, favors her not, nor your sire, who sees his son's bride come from the frozen north. Let her seek for herself a husband from the Tanais, from the marshes of watery Scythia, even from her own isle of Phasis. O changeable son of Aeson, more uncertain than the breezes of springtime, why lack your words the weight a promise claims? My own, you went forth hence. My own, you have not returned. Let me be your wedded mate, now you are come back, as I was when you set forth. If noble blood and generous lineage move you, lo, I am known as a daughter of the Minoan Thaos. Bacchus was my grandsire. The bride of Bacchus, with crown-encircled brow, outshines with her stars the lesser constellations. Lemnos will be my marriage portion, land kindly-natured to the husbandman. And me too you will possess among the subjects my dowry brings. And now too I have brought forth. Rejoice for us both, Jason. Sweet was the burden that I bore, its author had made it so. I am happy in the number too, for by Lucina's kindly favor I have brought forth twin offspring, a pledge for each of us. If you ask whom they resemble, I answer, yourself is seen in them. The ways of deceit they know not, for the rest they are like their father. I almost gave them to be carried to you, their mother's ambassadors, but thought of the cruel stepdame turned me back from the path I would have trod. 'Twas Medea I feared. Medea is more than a stepdame. The hands of Medea are fitted for any crime. Would she who could tear her brother limb from limb, and strew him o'er the fields, be one to spare my pledges? Such is she, such the woman, O madman swept from your senses by the poisons of Colchis, for whom you are said to have slighted the marriage bed with Hypsipyle. Base and shameless was the way that maid became your bride, but the bond that gave me to you, and you to me, was chaste. She betrayed her sire. I rescued from death my father Thaos. She deserted the Colchians. My Lemnos has me still. What matters aught, if sin is to be set before devotion, and she has won her husband with the very crime she brought him as her dower. The vengeful deed of the Lemnian women I condemn, Jason. I do not marvel at it. Passion itself drives the weak, however powerless, to take up arms. Come, say, what if, driven by unfriendly gales, you had entered my harbors, as 'twere fitting you had done, you and your companion, and I had come forth to meet you with my twin babes? Surely you must have prayed earth to yawn for you. With what countenance could you have gazed upon your children, O wretched man, with what countenance upon me? What death would you not deserve as the price of your perfidy? And yet you yourself would have met with safety and protection at my hands, not that you deserved, but that I was merciful. But as for your mistress, with mine own hand I would have dashed my face with her blood, and your face that she stole away with her poisonous arts. I would have been Medea to Medea. But if in any way the just Jupiter himself from on high attends to my prayers, may the woman who intrudes upon my marriage bed suffer the woes in which Hypsipyle groans, and feel the lot she herself now brings upon me. And, as I am now left alone, wife and mother of 2 babes, so may she one day be reft of as many babes, and of her husband. Nor may she long keep her ill-gotten gains, but leave them in worse hap. Let her be an exile, and seek a refuge through the entire world. A bitter sister to her brother, a bitter daughter to her wretched sire, may she be as bitter to her children, as bitter to her husband. When she shall have no hope more of refuge by the sea or by the land, let her make trial of the air, let her wander destitute, bereft of hope, stained red with the blood of her murders. This fate do I, the daughter of Thaos, cheated of my wedded state, in prayer call down upon you. Live on, a wife and husband, accursed in your bed.
This passage continues with Dido's letter to Aeneas, but our next passage tells of the return of the Argo to Iolcus.